As you all probably know by now, Bloxburg is officially becoming free on June 15th. It's been so long since I bought it, I actually forgot that it hasn't been free this whole time. If you are wondering, by the way, if you will get a refund for buying Bloxburg, no, you won't, because it's just like any other game where you buy early access or beta in or outside of Roblox. You don't get that money back. You just got to play the game early before it was fully released. But I am so excited for this couch card that we get as an early access buyer though. So whether you want to step up your game and look cool in front of all the new players, or maybe you are one of those new players and haven't yet seen all the possibilities that Bloxburg has for building, there's definitely going to be a learning curve if you've never played before. But don't worry, I believe everyone can learn and be a great builder. And here is where I think you should start. By the way, I have a Pinterest board with over 1,000 pins if none of these interest you or you just want to see more. The very obvious first thing I think that you should build in Bloxburg is a house. You probably didn't think of that one, did you? Luckily for you, there is a larger catalog now for you to choose from if you just want to buy one and either use it as is or renovate it. However, the more expensive ones you will have to work for. Here's the one that I made. It is $125,000. I recommend as a new player probably to get one of the cheapest ones and get a hang of the game, work, roleplay in other people's houses even before stepping up your game and getting a more expensive pre-built or making your own. If you are just starting off the game, you might want to take a look at tutorials on YouTube, search things like starter home, no game pass house, and get some inspiration, or I think most creators are just fine with you following their tutorial completely if you want to do that. If you've never built a house before, I recommend doing a little teeny bit of research. Sorry, I don't want to give you homework in the summertime, but I promise it will help. Take a look at the different types of houses and see what style you like the most. My first house that I ever made was a Mediterranean style house because a lot of the houses around me where I lived were like that and I was obsessed with them. But there's colonial houses, farmhouses, modern, craftsman, coastal, Victorian, cottage, contemporary, Greek. I don't even know, there's so many. Since it is June, you probably will be seeing a lot of coastal homes soon, which are super fun if you want something for the summer. If you really want to roleplay, try making a mansion and I guarantee people will come knocking at your door. Now, one step up from just a regular house, if you're interested in Bloxburg for roleplaying and you like those games where you join a group, do an interview, get a staff role for a game and be like a barista or concierge or something, you should consider making a cafe, maybe with an apartment on top or a hotel or a bed and breakfast. There is a house in the catalog that you can purchase. It's kind of like this. I would recommend having the multi-stories game pass for this, but you can also definitely make a one-story hotel. If you've ever seen the Trixie Motel, that's a cute one to try and recreate or take inspiration from. And of course, you can make a one-story cafe as well. I recommend if you make something like this to have a section that's your own home, since you do need to keep your moods up and it would be nice to not have to switch between plots where one is a cafe and one is your house. That's just not the vibe. Along the lines of that, you can make a clothing store, a library, an ice cream shop, or a restaurant. I recommend if you do this to plan out your plot in a way that if you want to make more than one building like this in the future, you can just add it onto the same plot and eventually you could have a town. This is totally optional, but here's one example where I planned out where everything was going to go, and then another where I just built restaurants and stores for videos but didn't plan it out at all. I think one is clearly better than the other. Honestly, everything that I'm going to recommend here, I can almost guarantee that someone has made a video about it. The Bloxburg YouTube community has grown massively since I started playing 8 years ago. The new players are so lucky to have so many resources and videos to watch. I also have a bunch of boards on my Pinterest that can help out with designing the interiors of your houses or cafes, and also of course a bunch of videos on YouTube. Now, if you don't want just a boring little typical house, I got you. Maybe you love fantasy. Make a little fairy tale cottage. If you are, again, wanting to roleplay and have something along the lines of a hotel or a motel, you can even make a small medieval village and just rent out some of the houses. We're getting a little crazy, but you can also make cafes and restaurants or stores within the village as well. Or it can just be a residential village. If you don't love fantasy, pick another theme. Themed builds are some of my favorite to do. You can do a spacey, like futuristic theme, something super vintage, like regal, or choose a decade like the 50s. Cyberpunk, abandoned, desert, beach, cartoon, western. Guys, this list is actually never ending, and I can guarantee it is all possible in Bloxburg. You can also pick a scene or a house from a TV show or movie and try to recreate it. Even if there's already a video about it on YouTube, you can either follow their tutorial or challenge yourself and do it completely by scratch. Speaking of challenges, if you don't want to build a normal house, I don't know if this is a thing that only content creators really do, but honestly, anyone can be a content creator. Literally record yourself doing any of these things and just post it and wait and see if it pops off. That's how all of us started. Anyway, Bloxburg building challenges are so fun. You can challenge yourself to make a tiny home, spinning a wheel for different categories. Each room is a different blank, like a color or theme, using the cheapest or most expensive items. I actually found this generator. I will link it down below. It's from James Turner, actually for The Sims, but it still applies. You can click this button and generate something new. new. So this one says you are building a serene home with one floor, the 20 by 15 lot. The owners are triplets and they are really into gardening and outdoor lifestyle and really afraid of water. They cannot live without their bunk bed. Okay, you have $56,000 to work with. For an additional challenge, try re-rolling and adding the must-have item as well as your original. Okay, what's the must-have item? They cannot live without their secret room. This one is just kind of funny. If none of these interest you, you can think of one yourself that's along the same lines. It's kind of a fun like role-playing element. Also, on the lines of looking for something a bit more advanced, you want to put your skills to the test. Dare I say, build a castle? You can do it. I know that you can. I've been reading and watching so much fantasy recently. I'm obsessed. You can also build a theme park, a ski resort, a zoo, a school, a hospital. All of these can be so fun to play with other people in your server and can really test your creativity. They are very big builds though, so I maybe wouldn't recommend it as the first thing that you do, but if you think you can do it, go for it. Something else I have discovered is actually using AI. There's a lot, but this one's Adobe Firefly, so I had it make a hyper realistic house and this is what it came up with, and I actually think they're so good. I would totally recreate one of these. You can use this for any of the ideas that I've just mentioned or just use it for a plain house. I think you can also remake something from real life. That's a lot of fun. A lot of people remake things like IKEA, Starbucks, Disney theme park, Times Square, a Lululemon. Those are really random. You can also make an airport or a police station. Those kinds of role plays I feel like would be so much fun. So overall, I feel like those are all of the ideas that I have for you guys. If you have more, leave them in the comments down below. Maybe I can make another video about this, or you guys can just read the comments for more ideas. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have fun with Bloxburg being free.